what do you even do with this? My name's Greg. You're watching How to Play Paintball. Okay, so this is something that I had done a while ago, but it was a part of like a bunch of different videos. It was when I was still new. I was just putting a bunch of stuff together, but it's still an important thing that I wanted to go over because a lot of people still get it wrong, and that's how to properly fill a paintball pod. You don't want to have maracas, you don't want to have them overstuffed, and all of that will make a lot more sense when I actually go through how to properly fill a paintball pod. So first things first, of course, you need a pod. So I used to have a lot more. These are like literally all the ones that I have now, along with these other ones in front of me. But that's what happens when you kind of give pods to a tournament. You bring them, you're not going to get all of them back. Anyways, so first things first, having a good quality pod. With the pod itself, of course, you always want to check inside and make sure that it's clean. So those are my gloves. That's not dirt at the bottom. If for some reason it is dirty, there are pod cleaners that you can put in there, or you can even take your swab and put it down to the bottom and kind of like rotate around like that on the way out and kind of tap it, make sure there's no dirt in there. The reason why you don't want dirt in there is you don't want it to be that when you're shooting that little bit of friction is going to cause the ball to break inside your breech, or could cause maybe some damage to the bolt. Probably not a whole lot, but it might start scratching the breech because of the dirt being drug across there, or dragged across there, not drug. And also, yeah, I mean, the main thing is you don't want the ball to break inside your barrel because of friction with the dirt that might be attached to it. So you want to be careful with that. Make sure that your pod is clean. Next thing you'll do, so there's a couple different ways of doing this. So you need your bag of paint. I prefer to just rip the corner. If it's one of the other plastic bags that you have to like kind of pull so that it opens up, you just open up a little bit of an opening, just a little bit smaller than the opening of a pod, and dump it in. The other way you can do it is open it up larger and actually put the pod inside of the bag, so that way it wraps around and then you can flip it and fill it like that. I just like it this way, it just works better. So you'll fill it up. And you want to fill it up so that there are extras at the top there. You're going to kind of shake it, put your hand over the top so that it kind of settles down. So there's still a couple extras there. So I'm going to put those back in the bag. And you want it just to be that it's only a little bit above there. Now I'm kind of at an angle, so it's a little bit harder to see. So you want it to be a little bit, let me see if I can get that better for you. Yeah, there we go. So you can kind of see it's only a little bit above the lid. Because when you close the lid, you want it to be that there is a little bit of tension. You don't want there to be a lot of tension, but you want there to be just a small amount. So that way when you close it and you shake it, you shouldn't be able to hear anything. So even this one, there's still a little bit of movement, so I'm going to open it up, kind of shake it back down again. And now you can't hear anything. I'll put it next to the mic. You can't hear anything. So the reason why you want to have it a little bit tighter and not have those maracas is with practice paint, it's usually going to be a little bit harder of a shell, so you don't have to worry as much with this issue. But when you do have a tournament ball, like the stuff that we shot from ProShar in Vegas was super brittle. If you had just a little bit of a rattle in there, if you took a hard dive, you got to think that the pod is going to stop, but the paint inside is going to push to the edge, and it might crack inside there, and now you have paint inside of your pod. And that's not going to be good because it's going to actually get into your hopper, which then is going to get onto the other paintballs, and then it's going to kind of be all squirrely. So that way when you shoot it, it starts doing all like that. So that's why you want there to be just a little bit of that tightness in there. Now, if there's a small, tiny little bit of rattle, I still think you should be okay. It's not like it needs to be completely silent, but you do want it to be as prepared as possible for when you actually go out to play, so that way you are ready if you do have that super brittle paint. Now, if you overpack it where it's really hard to close it, that's when you're going to run the risk of the top couple balls might crack because you squeezed them. So basically you want to find that balance of just a little bit of pressure, but not enough that it's going to actually crack the paint at the top of the pod there. So it's going to be kind of trial and error. You just want to have that little bit of pressure, like I said, and then close it. A little bit of rattle isn't going to be the end of the world, but you don't want to have it where people can hear you from like 4 miles away running down the field, that chugga 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 chugga. So you don't want to sound like a train or a maraca, whatever it is that you want to call it. But that is how to properly fill a paintball pod. So I hope that this helps you guys out. I'm gonna put that in with my other ones. I have some others I need to fill. Please put in the comments down below some other tips that you'd like to see. Is there anything that you'd like some help with? Again, put that in the comments down below. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, remember, watch, learn,